Hello, this is Anne. I want to elaborate on an idea that I mentioned in one of my videos. And that idea is that love is always here. You have experienced love before. And just because that person or that situation is gone, you might think you are without love. And the truth of the matter is that love never leaves, because love comes from an eternal source. It comes from spirit. It is not of this world, but it can be experienced in this world, in nature, with other human beings, in other circumstances. So I want to describe a situation that revealed this to me. I don't remember any teacher in my life, and I've been through many, many teachers, that really impacted me, except for this one college professor of chemistry. So let me give you the background. In intermediate middle school, I had two important events that occurred where instead of feeling how angry I was, I suppressed that anger. And this happened within a short period of time. Now, when you suppress any feeling, you are basically pushing down your life energy. So with those major events, I shoved a lot of my life energy, and it was unavailable to me. It was only when I realized what had happened that I understood why, after that period in my life, I felt like I was living in a fog. I wasn't really getting things. So going through high school and college was almost like sleepwalking. I didn't have my capacities available to me. And even my concern seemed to be buried, like I was barely passing my chemistry test class in honors chemistry, my first semester in college. Never asked for help, never realized that I really needed to do something. So I barely passed. The chemistry professor was Dr. Ehrig, whom I met again later in my senior year. He was in charge of our group in the honors program. In the honors program, we would read various books and discuss them. And once a month, we met with him. The very first time, I was shocked by my experience because he treated me with enormous respect, not a professor to student kind of thing. He was curious about what I thought and was eager to learn and hear me articulate my opinion. That was an experience that no one had ever given me before. Respect, appreciation, the time of day to really pay attention. This is the kind of experience that you might have had with a grandparent, an uncle, a good friend, a partner, a spouse, even if they're not there all the time. For minutes, maybe even longer, you had the incredible blessing to be with someone who had no agenda but you. So you got to bask in that attention and be appreciated. You might have felt then that you were unconditionally loved because there was no judgment, just acceptance, patience, presentness. Now, if you've had this experience with a friend, any human being, a grandparent, an uncle, an aunt, a teacher, a supervisor, you might despair that you're never going to find that again, never going to find a person like that. And guess what? Just because that person isn't there doesn't mean you don't have the love, because love is eternal and the source is eternal. And spirit, higher power, the divine, is always present right now, even with their love. It's a question of whether we're going to open our hearts to that. So if that person is gone or that situation is gone, remember it and tune in to the love that is there. I use the present tense. It's still there in your heart. And this goes as well for any situation, be it feeling just out of your body in some ways, with the magnificence of someone singing, playing an instrument, symphony orchestra, the music itself, so incredibly creative that it transports you, it uplifts you. Or looking at the night sky and getting that same experience. Or looking at a flower, at the wonder of creation, the ocean, rocks, trees, anything with what you have as a connection that makes you forget yourself and think of something much, much larger and brings you into a higher state of joy. Any of those experiences is love speaking to you. It also comes from the truth, from gurus and teachers. When it touches your heart and you say, I know that, it's because that dwells in you. It's not to be found outside. The outside just reminds you. So everywhere in any instance, there are constant reminders that love, the source of love, is always here. You need to open up and be appreciative of that. I, in a recent video, noticed that a very good friend from Hawaii had joined us. And in not acknowledging him, I felt the connection that we have. I felt that love come through. When I was telling the story of Don Miguel and meeting him at Asilomar in the year that he had recovered from a heart attack, then he was just pure love. And I took the opportunity after lunch to go up to him to thank him. And it wasn't until I was describing this to you in a video that my heart opened up to that connection. If I could find that, you can see how it just totally overwhelmed me. So I didn't have to be present. I just had to remember the connection. And if I opened up my heart, I would feel it. So that is true, especially grandparents with your babies, where you're totally caught up with the love that you feel, the appreciation of this preciousness that you have in your presence. This love, doesn't come personally from you, it comes through you. And this is the love that's in your heart. So it's there. Spirit promises us in every instance, he is there. always supporting us, always loving us. It is we who close the door, close our heart to that. And if we would make the connection that when you feel despair, hopelessness, fear, hate, anger, all the dark things, that is usually a young child part being triggered by something in your current experience. While they need to be healed, it is also true that the adult probably has many experiences that are different from that, that informs you that you are in touch with this love that you long for. You know, most human beings, whether they know it or not, are looking for unconditional love. And it can only come from an eternal source, not incarnation, but that is before the universe, and that is a choice that you can make to identify with the source within you while you take care of your inner children and connect them to that source so that they too will feel deeply connected with the source of love, joy, and peace. What do you think? Thank you.